In the early 19th century, there was a piece of land in the Middle East which was ruled under the Ottoman Empire and is currently known today as Israel. It is known that the Arabs who lived there viewed themselves with a strong Palestinian national identity. Jews in Europe around this time were starting to form a movement called Zionism, where they believed that Jews didn't just follow a religion but had a strong nationality as well. So, in return, more Jews started moving into Palestine. Next came along the Balfour Declaration in 1917. This letter basically says that the British give approval for the Jews to have their national homeland in Palestine. Obviously, we can see here that this is where the real conflict truly begins. After the unsuccessful UN partition plan, a war broke out known as the Arab-Israeli War in 1948 to 1949 between Israelis and different surrounding Arab countries. However, in July of 1949, this war resulted in an armistice with Israel taking control of most of Palestine. As a result of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, about 80% of the Palestinian population fled. However, the other 20% stayed, which was about 156,000 Palestinians. Those were the ones who became Palestinian citizens. The history of the conflict keeps going, however, this is where my topic begins. As a result of the conflict, many discriminatory issues have been brought to light. One example would be the discriminatory education system in Israel and how it affects Palestinian citizens' national identity. The Israeli Jews and Palestinian citizens are immensely segregated within the education system, with Zionism deeply embedded into their education, which contributes heavily to the discriminatory acts against Palestinian citizens outside of the schools. Many notable scholars who do extensive research on the discriminatory education system in Israel have gone on to either say, 1. Palestinian citizens have more of a multifaceted national identity due to the education system in Israel, or 2. As a result of the discriminatory education system, Palestinian citizens have strengthened their national identity within Israel. Smuha, the Nassers, and Rossmer all argue that as a result of the numerous obstacles Palestinian citizens face, they see themselves as having a mixed national identity. It can be difficult for these children going through school, especially when their teachers are being forced to teach a curriculum they don't necessarily agree upon. Teachers in some cases can send mixed signals to their students through their mannerisms and tone of voice when teaching lessons. Even though the Ministry of Education is trying through their Zionist curriculum to integrate them to transgress their Palestinian identity, they're also still being pushed away due to the many exclusionary acts against them beyond the education system. This is what then creates their multifaceted national identity. Notable authors such as Abu Said, Mustafa, and Lawrence strongly contend that Palestinian students recognize the discriminatory acts against them through the curriculum in the schools they attend, and that this gives them more incentive to retain their national Palestinian identity. Sherry Lawrence argues through his own extensive data collection that out of the Palestinian citizen population, over 65% identify solely as Palestinian. It can be seen that as a result of the Israelis' strong efforts in pulling Palestinians away from their nationality, they are only enforcing it as a result through the constant reminders Palestinians get on a daily basis. Understanding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the many challenges that Palestinian citizens face is important because it's imperative to know that there are groups of people still struggling with discrimination even if they live in a democracy.